so much light, daylight, all the time. And on sunny days, you almost felt like you were sitting outside. It was that bright.
That surprised you, Grace?
It was a factory. I thought it would be dark and dirty.
Then why go to work there?
I was 15. It was time I paid my own way.
Pay your own way? What about school?
Oh, I didn't miss it so much. The girls were all so nice, and the work wasn't hard. It wasn't like factory work, really. It was more like art, painting those dials. We were artists.
I'm not really the one you should be talking to. Von Sashanki, he's the one you should talk to.
Now, Arthur, you know he won't talk to us.
It was his process.
Tell me about that process, Arthur. You used the powder?
We used a powder. The girls mixed it with an adhesive to make the paint. And the business with the brushes, I didn't invent that. They were doing that when I started here.
But you knew about it.
We all knew about it. We just didn't realize what it meant.
Irene?
In here. Irene, what are you doing? Shut the door.
Amalia's working inspection today.
Is that bad? Not for us.
She's gonna be sitting in this room all day, by herself, in the dark, checking dials.
Poor thing.
Poor thing.
So we're giving her a little surprise.
Boo! Like the Cheshire cat.
Wouldn't that make her mad?
Let her get mad.
That's half the fun.
I don't want to make her mad.
Oh, Grace, do you have to be that way about everything?
Oh, wait. Your teeth, Grace. Put some on your teeth.
And like Amalia don't deserve it. She paints more dials than any girl on the floor. And can't bother to talk to nobody either. You say, Amalia, what's new? She just looks at you funny.
I don't think she can speak much English.
Wouldn't kill her to smile, would it?
She's coming.
Get the light.
Where's the switch?
Please stay, Catherine. Oops.
Mr. McNeil. Paint your faces? Are you out of your minds?
It was just a joke.
Just a joke? A joke like that can lose a girl her job.
No, Mrs. McNeil. I'm sure that's not necessary.
I don't tolerate no foolishness, Doctor.
Job. Very good. Foolishness. We don't want, do we? Mr. Reader, this is the inspection room. All the dials come here that are painted. And here are some of the girls who should on the floor be working. Girls, this is Mr. Reader, my new vice president, and your new plant manager.
And I was just telling Mr. Reader what a fine bunch of girls we have here. Now I'm sure you must think I'm halfway out of my mind.
Mr. Reader, perhaps you have some words for the girls. Mrs. McNeil.
Well, girls, this paint you've been playing with, it's very expensive. Do you realize this? It takes several tons of ore to produce a single gram of radium. That's a lot of work, hard work, for the men in the extraction plant. But they do this work gladly. You understand why? Why they work so hard? What we're all working for?
The war?
That's right. The war. The dials you paint save lives, girls. Our boys in the field depend on them. To read them in the dark, no mistaking what they see. Otherwise, some of those boys won't be coming home. So girls, if you play around and don't take the work seriously, you're playing into the hands of the Kaiser. We don't want that now, do we?
No, sir.
So let's get back to work and leave the tomfoolery to home.
Mr. Reader? I just want to say, I really am sorry. I won't do nothing like this ever again.
Well, dear, just keep this in mind. You do right by us, and we'll do right by you.
Nancy Shane Harlan for the New York Graphic, the graphics only. Go report.
Jack Youngwood here, the New York Legend, your first source of news.
Marie Curie, eminent French scientist, embarks on a whistle-stop tour of the United States.
First stop, New York City, where she is greeted by an enthusiastic crowd of well-wishers.
The High Priestess of Science is headed to Washington to receive the gift of 1 gram of radium, valued at $100,000.
Purchased for her by the members of the Marie Curie Radium Club, an association with 100,000 American women.
Who each gave $1 to support humanitarian research with radium. Grace, over here.
Irene, look! I got my certificate. Member, Marie Curie Radium Club.
You gave $1?
It's all for science.
Science? What about my reward?
Look, here she is.
Welcome all, welcome all. I must ask you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, please limit your questions. Madame Curie is about to embark on an exhaustive tour of the country and is on strict doctor's orders to rest. However, in the typical fashion of a scientist who can think only of her research, her life's work, she has refused to rest.
Madam Curie, what will you do with the radium? What will you do with the radium?
I will continue my experiments to find better methods for the treatment of the cancer. Is radium a cure for all cancer? Cure for the cancer? Yes, cure for the cancer. That is so. It is often cured all kinds of cancer. But some doctors dispute that. They do not understand the method. There is no question. Radium will cure the cancer. Madam Curie!
Madam Curie!
Madam Curie! How have you managed to devote yourself both to science and to your children? It has not been easy. Lots of my daughters say my gratitude to the American women for the enhancement of science in the
Madam Curie!
Madam Curie!
Madam Curie!
No more questions. Madame Curie is on a tight schedule. Mrs. Andrew Carnegie has sent a car and will escort Dr. Curie personally, as will I, to Washington, where President Harding will present the gift of 1 gram of radium.
Hey, Charlie, you see that? That is a marketing opportunity. Let's send her one of our customers' watches. Courtesy, the United States Radium Corporation.
We'll need a press release.
Radium isn't just for scientists to study. The average American can share it in its glory every night. Luminous watches, luminous clocks. Anyone who thinks these are just novelties, consider all the other advances that have taken place in the past 50 years. The electric light, the telegraph,
the telephone,
the automobile, inventions that were all once dismissed as novelties, as toys.
Now essentials to modern life. Got it. That ought to sell some watches.
Watches, absolutely. But that's not where the growth is now, Charlie. You heard the lady. It's the medical market.
And Standard Chemical owns it.
Only because Von Sashaki lets them take it. But if we wanted to, we could get half their business. It's just a matter of positioning.
Standard Chemical publishes its own journal, sends it out monthly to 12,000 doctors. We could do something similar.
Something scholarly, that the doctors would respect.
A bibliography, listing every article ever published on radium.
But with capsule reports. To save the doctors time, they'd get the information, find it fast,
and have us to thank for it.
We'll send it to every doctor in the U.S. Radium Society.
Every doctor in the American Medical Association.
That's the spirit, Charlie. Advertising. That's the wave of the future. It's not just the product, it's the way you promote it.
You should have seen it, Grace. The church was filled with flowers. Lilies and carnations and orchids. You know how Molly loves orchids?
They weren't orchids.
They were orchids, Irene.
Flags.
Orchids. I know an orchid when I see one. Purple orchids. Oh, Grace, that smell. Oh, Grace, that smell. What was that smell? It was like
flowers?
No, it was like heaven. I was gonna say it was like heaven.
Like heaven? Catherine, it was just a funeral. You make it out like some Valentino picture.
It wasn't just a funeral. It was Amalia's, and it was beautiful. Oh, Grace, the church was like the botanical gardens. And the company sent a big spray of flowers, too. Carnations.
Mums.
Yellow carnations.
Those were moms.
Well, it seems like a nice service anyhow. Girls? Girls! The whistle's already gone. Now then, I've received new instruction this day. We'll be going back to the old way of pointing the brushes. We was losing too much paint in the cloth. But, yes, Grace? Something you wish to say?
Dr. von Shishaki told me not to do that. He said it's unsanitary.
Unsanitary? Well, I can't hardly believe you say such a thing. We've done this as long as I've been here. You must have misunderstood him.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not to get any new brushes until you're done with the old. And they gotta be so bad you can't get a point no more.
You can't make quota like that.
Well, you do your best then, since I have my instructions.
I need a new brush.
It's not for us to be asking questions, is it? It's for us to be doing the work.
I have my instructions, girls. I have my instructions.
Here's an instruction for you, McNeil. Let's another star shot your first set.
Was she at the service?
McNeil? Are you kidding? You think she should cross the street for her own mother?
Most everybody else was, though. You was about the only girl from the floor who wasn't there.
I wanted to go, but Mom was working and I had to watch little ones.
You could have brought them. All 7? Well, if it was me, I'd try to get there.
Just lay off. Grace feels bad as it is.
Were many of the fellas there? Oh yeah, lots of fellas from downstairs. Mr. Roth from the front office. Dr. Basashaki was there. And Mr. Reader.
And he left early.
So? He was there all the same. Oh, and Grace, you know that fella from Crystallizing? What's his name? The one with the red hair. He was there. You know what I mean?
The tall fellow with the freckles?
That's the one who snaps his fingers all the time.
George.
Jerry.
I think it is George.
It's Jerry. Jerry Mellon. He's the one who was always talking to Molly in the day room.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Grace, when the mass is over, he goes over to the coffin, and he goes like this. Like this, he goes.
No.
Yes!
Really?
Really?
What did he say?
Well, he did. Nobody could believe it.
So what if he did?
So what? He was in love with her. That's so what? Don't you think so, Grace?
Well, I guess he had to be if he did that.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you loved her and you never told her? Could never bring himself to say because she was so beautiful and he was so shy. But now it's too late. It's too late. Their love is forever thwarted. He never told her, and he'll never get a chance. Ever again. Poor Amalia. Poor Amalia.
Poor kid.
Her family took it awfully bad, Grace. Albina, Kinta, everybody. Every one of them crying. Even her father crying so bad. I've never seen a man cry before, and not like that, just bawling like a baby.
And you know why, too?
Because their daughter had died?
What she died from.
Irene, don't go spreading stories.
It's not a story. Albina told us. A reason Grace should know.
You know what? You know what?
Amalia? Ain't it awful? Albina said her father's fit to be tied, too. 6 girls at home, and ain't none of them ever going to dance again.
All because Amalia up and died from syphilis. I can't help it if that's what she died from.
You don't know that for sure.
It's on the death certificate.
Anemia and complications from syphilis.
But Amalia was ever so nice.
But she got around more than we knew.
Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe her doctor got it wrong.
Come on.
He could have got it wrong. Doctors make mistakes sometimes.
That's true. Doctor was wrong about Aunt Ivy.
What's Mama got to do with it?
Irene, don't you remember? Up to the day she died, doctor said Aunt Ivy would be fine. Said, take a cup of tea, get a good night's rest. And 2 days later, he was taken to Rosedale Cemetery.
Girls, girls, your attention please. The gentlemen are here to make an announcement.
Thank you, Miss McNeil. Girls, we're here to put a few rumors to rest.
And to explain some changes, John.
Yes, as some of you may have heard by now, Dr. Von Sasaki is stepping down. And he would like to take this opportunity
To make with goodbye. And Mr. Reader has kindly consented. Some of you I have known since you were little girls, coming here during the war, working so hard, day after day at the bench, 200, 300, some of you $500 a day. So excited to be part of our work here. With this company, I started in my own kitchen, mixing up the paint. I knew I found something miraculous to make life better, easier. And now, what do I read? More and more uses are there for the radium. More than I dreamed possible.
Thank you, doctor.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Now, girls, the doctor is a very busy man and must be on his way. So let us wish him luck on his new business ventures. Very good then, girls.
And Mr. Reader, let us good luck wish to you also. To play these steps as your new company president. Our congratulations to you.
Thank you.
When Mr. Reader came 4 years ago to us, I saw in him a young man of great enterprise
Thank you.
and great ambition.
Yes, thank
Little did I guess the direction your ambition would take. But one of the things that makes this country great is the opportunity it presents to a young man and his friends.
So, girls.
And so, ladies, let us wish Mr. Reader the very best in the new direction he intends the company to take.
New direction?
With the slowdown in painting and business moving more into the medical market, there's going to be lots of changes, John.
What the doctor is referring to, some of our larger customers are setting up their own dial painting studios.
Which means less work for our girls here.
In the short run, things may be slower here. However, the Waterbury Clock Company in Connecticut will need help setting up its new studio. We were intending to make an announcement next week. We'll make it now. Miss McNeil?
Yes, well, we'll be sending some of you girls on up there.
The work is supervisory in nature, which means we're paid. That's what goes in mind.
Actually, I believe Jessica Hanley was one, Victoria Flores, Sarah Tran, and Catherine Shaw. I have the entire list downstairs. I'll post it today.
Fine. There you have it, girls. As we're all on the clock, we'll leave you to your work.
Thank you, ladies. My best wishes to you all.
Time back to work with you girls.
Are you gonna do it, Catherine? Are you gonna take the job? Would you, Grace? Would you go to Connecticut? I don't know. It's awful far from home. Tommy'd have a fit. Come on, Grace. It'd be fun. Won't it be fun, Irene? Irene? Irene, are you alright?
Huh? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna be alright. What?
Your mouth is bleeding.
$35 a week, and she quits the place.
More to life than money.
That's what you say when you're young, Tom. But you and Grace get to be my age, with a house full of your kids underfoot. You'll thank God for every penny you put by.
We got money put by.
How much?
Enough to get married on.
Don't take much to get married on. Do you have enough to stay married on?
You let us get married, we'll find out.
Are you still eating, Tommy?
It's good.
You're going to get fat.
Gotta keep up his strength. He works hard for his money.
Don't start, Mom.
I didn't say nothing. It's your father who hit the roof over it.
He didn't hit the roof.
You should have seen the man's face, Tom. When he found out Grace wasn't working no more, most girls would give their eye teeth for a job like that. Good money, easy work, nice-looking fellas around the plant.
You didn't tell me about them, Grace.
Wasn't that many of them. Hardly seemed worth the mention.
And she leaves it all behind for reasons unknown. I'm tired of it up there, she says. Are you tired of the paychecks, I say? Who needs a paycheck, she says. I got me a boyfriend to take me out on Saturdays.
She said that?
Oh, you know I didn't. And for your information, I got a job. I started the bank on Monday.
Oh yeah, the bank. And what's it pay?
Enough.
Enough. Always enough. You know what that means, Tom? It don't come close to what it pays about the radium plant.
It's office work.
Office work. Well, I guess that means you'll be spending more money on clothes then.
Boy, is she really mad at you.
I don't see what difference it makes so long as I'm working somewheres.
Don't make no difference to me. I just thought you liked it up there.
Sure, I liked it. I worked there 4 years.
So, I've been delivering mail for almost 8 years. And I plan on keep on delivering mail another 20 or 30 years. If I'm lucky. Nothing like a steady work and a good pension to help you sleep at night.
I don't have a pension, and I sleep just fine.
Oh, I bet you do. So, how come you quit, Grace?
Lots of girls are quitting. Work is slow. Besides, since Irene left, it's just not as much fun. And wouldn't you rather have a girlfriend who works in a bank?
Not as much as I'd like to have a wife who don't work anywhere.
Close your eyes. I got a surprise for you.
Yeah? You want me to pull down the shades?
Not that kind of surprise. Close your eyes. Now look.
Wallpaper.
For the baby's room.
Baby's room? You won't kiss me and you're talking about babies?
There's gonna be babies eventually, Tommy.
Well, sure, but you know, Grace, most girls, they get married before they decorate the nursery.
Plan ahead for once. Pick one.
Well, they're both the same.
No, they're not. This one has big flowers, and that one has little flowers. So pick one.
This some kind of test?
No, it's just wallpaper.
It is some kind of test.
Pick one, Tommy.
Well, that one.
Really?
The other one, then.
Which do you like, though?
They're both nice.
This one is pretty, don't you think?
Well, that one, then.
But I want you to like it, too.
If you like it, I like it. Wallpaper's wallpaper.
No, it isn't. You gotta pick something you can stand to look at for 20 years.
Same way you pick women?
Keep it up, smarty pants. You won't never get that kiss.
Okay. This one, hands down.
I like it too. A nice neutral yellow goes with either a boy or a girl. And until the baby comes, you can use the room for other things.
Yeah? Like what?
Like a painting studio, maybe?
A painting studio, maybe. Didn't you get enough of painting at work?
Not the kind I wanted to do. Tommy, I used to paint watercolors at school, and ever since I went to work, I don't have no time. What with watching the kids and helping Ma, once we get married, I just want some time. Just a little time to myself, so's I can do watercolors, or oils maybe portraits in oil. I could paint your picture if you like.
Why not? Paint a big picture of me and we'll hang it in the outhouse. All our friends will come around just to use the can so they can look at it.
Oh, the way you talk sometimes.
Oh, Grace. You want to paint pictures? Paint pictures. I ain't gonna stop you.
You say that now, Tommy. But once we're married, you'll change your tune.
Sure. I'll be whistling Dixie.
Wait till you come home some night all wore out. Some Christmas, maybe, when every customer on your routes had 3 times the mail. And maybe some dog took after you. And some old lady kept you waiting on her stoop, telling you all about her grandchildren. And you wouldn't have the heart to tell her you can't talk. I know you. So you come home all cranky and late besides, hungry, wanting your dinner. And there I am, with my easel set up in the kitchen and a drop cloth on the floor, my paints all over the table, and your dinner nowhere in sight. What would you say then?
Better be picturing me you're painting.
I know what you'd say. Where's my dinner? That's what you'd say. Where's my dinner?
Well, sure, but I'd still admire the painting. Just want to look at it on a full stomach is all. So, how'd I do? Pick the right wallpaper?
I don't know. Maybe I'll go look at stripes.
Stripes? Polka dots? I don't care. Let's just get married, Grace. You're plenty old enough. Tell your mom we ain't waiting no more. We'll just run off.
Tommy, we are not running off. We're gonna do it right. A nice church wedding with flowers and music. And then a week at the seashore, just us. And after that, we get set up in our own place. You'll see. It'll be worth the wait.
Your mouth hurt you?
Yeah, the dentist wants to pull another tooth in the back.
Well, what's a tooth?
Hazel Kuzer. Any connection to the others?
Only by virtue of employment.
Except she's got a good lawyer.
Knows how to write a good letter anyway, that lawyer.
And she no longer works here.
Left 6 months ago.
This makes 4 now.
3.
4 if you count the Maja girl.
I wouldn't include her.
She worked here.
She also worked other places. And what she died from? You couldn't pick it up here. At least I don't think you can.
That's not funny, Charlie. Besides, that's just idle talk.
In my experience, there's usually something to the idle talk when it comes to girls like that.
From a large family, wasn't she?
Italians, the conditions they live in. 10, 12 people in 3 rooms? It's a wonder they don't all die of one infection or another.
3 then. And how many dead?
Only Miss Maja, but I haven't heard from her people.
It's too late for them anyway. The statute of limitations is 2 years. But Miss Kuzer is another story. She's in the position to make some trouble now.
In all the time I've been here, no one has so much as slipped on the floor. And now this.
We're talking about 4 girls. Out of how many hundreds that we've employed?
600, 700 over the years.
And some of them were sick when they got here. One girl you hired was a complete cripple. Couldn't even climb the stairs. Her father carried her up to the studio every morning.
It didn't make any difference to me how she got up the stairs. She was a fast worker and a very sweet little girl.
But she was in poor health.
She needed the work.
Arthur. Charlie.
And not just for the money. To feel productive. To have a purpose. That's what work does, Charlie. It gives us a purpose. I don't see any reason why we should stop hiring girls like that.
When they get sick and they try to blame us for it, you might want to reconsider that policy.
Let's see what Dr. Drinker has to say.
Dr. Drinker?
Some professor at the Harvard School of Industrial Hygiene.
He chairs the department, and he's agreed to take a look at our operations.
Don't you think we're jumping the gun a bit? Hiring him?
We've had 6 girls quit this week, and Miss McNeil tells me there could be more.
Girls come and go all the time.
It's never been like this. These girls are terrified. We've got to do something to calm them.
Letting Drinker examine them? That sounds to me like a recipe for mass hysteria.
We'll tell them it's a routine physical. Edward?
Companies give physicals all the time. The Drinker will start next month. In the meantime, I suggest we make an offer.
Settled?
There's no proof that her problems are connected to us.
If she sues, believe me, you won't like the publicity it brings, and neither will your investors.
You think this will affect the stock offering?
Don't you?
Great. We'll open at 30, close at 10.
We're not open at all.
But if we give this girl something, that'll just keep her quiet.
It would be a condition of the sale.
Maybe we better do it.
Suppose this lawyer has a racket going. He finds 6 girls and talks them into making suits. They're rewarded for his larceny.
It could be like Charlie said. She comes from a large immigrant family, not well educated, and not a lot of resources. From the sound of that letter, she doesn't have long to live anyways.
$100 would make a big difference to a girl like that.
Certainly. Pay a few doctor's bills, buy some medicine.
So what would be a gesture of decency then?
Correct. What do you think we should offer?
March 24th, 1924. Jack Youngwood here for the New York Ledger.
Nancy Jane Harlan for the New York Graphic, the graphics only, girl reporter.
Could radiant water pose a cure for crippling arthritis? Scientific studies suggest a connection.
Dateline, Orange, New Jersey. Radiant water products offer a miracle cure for crippling arthritis.
Some patients reported a significant abatement in their symptoms.
Mrs. Jeremy Michaels of the Bronx tells us how radiant water transformed her life.
My pain got so bad, I couldn't hardly bend over.
While some patients reported only mild relief.
This poor, brave woman could not even bend down to kiss her little ones goodnight.
I got 3, let me tell you. They are a handful.
Dr. Harrison Martland, chief medical examiner for Essex County, commented on the study.
Preliminary at best.
Your recommendations, Dr. Martland?
I advise
Then Mrs. Michaels tried Radiathor.
further study.
They said it would help my rheumatism, so I drank a bottle a day for a month. Wasn't cheap, but I was desperate.
The test sample is questionably small.
Well, first, it felt like I was hit by a bolt of lightning. It was that powerful. Now, I drink a bottle a week just to maintain my health. I hang laundry and scrub the kitchen floor, same way I always done.
Dr. William J. A. Bailey of Orange, inventor of Radiathor, reports strong demand for his product.
Dr. William Bailey of Orange announces sales of Radiathor exceed 100,000 cases worldwide.
Radioactivity is one of the most remarkable discoveries in medical science. I drink Radiathor myself, and I can vouch for its power.
At a bottle a day?
At $1 a bottle?
Worth every penny.
Yes, indeed. I myself was a picture of lethargy before I discovered the vitalizing, amazing qualities of radiant water. Now look at me. I'm nearly 50 years old, but I got the energy of a man in his 30s.
You rather look like a man in his 30s.
Well, thanks.
A testament to the tonic's potency?
Or to the feller's creativity.
Radiathor is perpetual sunshine.
And a perpetual money machine for its inventor.
Is there no end to what science can do?
Maybe we should have made an appointment.
Don't need no appointment.
But it's a busy place, Catherine. If you don't have an appointment, maybe we should make one.
I shouldn't need no appointment for this.
I'm sorry, I didn't find anything under Shaw.
No, it's under Rudolph.
Rudolph?
The girl I'm asking about, Irene Rudolph.
Did she file a complaint?
No, the dentist did.
The dentist?
Dr. Neff, Irene's dentist. He said she might have phosphor jaw, and he was going to complain to the health department about it. When I asked him, he said he hadn't heard nothing, and it's been more than 6 months now.
Phosphor jaw, you said?
Yes!
Catherine, it could have been like your doctor said. A blood infection.
Yeah, but what gave it to her? That's the thing. What was it from?
From Doit. You get infections from Doit.
From dirt? Her face puffed up like a pumpkin. Her jaw rotted so bad, she couldn't eat nothing. You think you get something like that from a little dirt? You get it from phosphorus. They're telling everybody it's radium in that paint, but really it's phosphorus that makes it glow.
Honestly, Catherine, you can't really believe that.
You saw her, Grace.
Catherine, if it was just like you said, they'd have never let you work up there in the first place.
Sure, they shut the place down.
Who? Who's gonna shut it down?
I don't know, the county?
Honestly, Grace, you are such a ninny.
Hey!
How are they gonna shut it down if they don't know about it? Ever thought of that?
Now come on!
Sorry.
No, she got no business talking to you that way.
She's just upset.
Upset? She's gone around the bend. She probably thinks they're dumping arsenic in the drinking water now. Next will be dead kidnapping babies and using them to stoke the furnace.
Go ahead and laugh. You won't laugh so hard when it's you coming in here 6 months from now asking after Grace.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Catherine, it's just a toothache.
Yeah? That's how it started for Irene? Just a toothache. You wait, Grace. You wait. You'll wake up one morning, your gums hurting so bad, you won't be able to open your mouth. So weak and sick, you won't be able to stand up.
Stop it, Catherine.
The pain so bad, you won't be able to stand up. And your face so swollen,
You won't be able to stand the sight
I
of
said
yourself!
stop it!
Grace is fine. Right, Gracie?
Irene Rudolph?
That's it.
She worked up at the radium plant.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing.
Huh?
The company is in full compliance with all state health and labor regulations. They ordered an analysis.
Let me see that.
Miss, please.
Who's Miss Young?
She's the health inspector. Miss.
Paint is harmless compound of radium and zinc?
As I was saying, the analysis shows there's no phosphorus in the plant. There's no phosphorus anywhere in the paint.
Here. See, Catherine?
Miss Young toured the plant herself, and she found nothing amiss. I'm sorry.
Well, guess we can get some lunch then?
I'm gonna file another complaint.
They already did an investigation.
I want to file another complaint.
Oh, brother.
Catherine, these folks, they're awful busy here. I want to file another complaint. I just don't see what good this is going to do, Catherine. To make such a fuss this way. Grace! 3 surgeries! And they wanted to cut her again. She finally said no. She knew. What was left of her jaw rotted so bad. The smell was terrible. And Grace, the worst of it is, I couldn't look at her. Irene was so afraid of being alone. But I left her alone. When she died, it was the middle of the night, and no one was with her. I'm sorry. Can we have another form? My friend would like to file another complaint.
Another complaint? Is the girl still sick?
No. She died.
Wait right here.
Harriet! Harriet, come down from that tree at once! I'm waiting for Papa! Fine, when he gets here, I'll send him up after you. There he is! Papa! Papa!
Harriet!
Papa! I can see clear to the church!
Can you? Do you see your grandfather?
No, but I can see a schoolhouse! You think this is funny?
She's enjoying herself.
Harriet!
Tell you what, if she has no one to shout to, then she won't shout.
They can hear her all over the neighborhood.
Can they?
When she comes down, I want you to speak with her.
She's 9 years old,
I'm
Diane.
trying to raise a daughter, not a son.
Time is on your side. In another year or two, she'll stop wanting to climb trees and develop a fascination for boys.
And that's supposed to scare me.
And when that day comes, you'll be frantic because she'll no longer want to climb trees.
What's this?
Something to give you vitality.
You think I need vitality?
It's what it says on the bottle.
Is it pure?
We're a supplier. Do you want to try it?
If it will give me vitality, how can I refuse? Your father came by to see me today.
Another hard luck case.
4 children at home, all under the age of 6.
Let me guess. Wife in the hospital with cancer.
Yes.
And the husband has been laid off from, let's see, the brickyard.
Yes.
Through no fault of his own.
How did you know?
Dad came by to see me yesterday. It's never enough with him, just to have ordinary ambitions. You have to have a mission in life.
And you do.
Oh, I have a business plan.
You can't tell me you wouldn't help this man if you could.
If I could. But I can't give him a job that doesn't exist.
What about Dan Neiman?
Dan?
He could use the help.
In the laboratory, Dad needs trained technicians, not bricklayers. Why don't you send him to Miss Middleton? Don't you women have a social club for things like this?
You mean the Women's Club Civics Committee?
Right.
Yes, the club takes interest in cases like these, but we're not an employment service either. Which is why I thought you could help with.
Well, you do love being married to the company president.
It has its advantages.
Do you ever think of trading it in?
Do you?
I got my shoes shined this morning, and as I watched the boy work, I thought to myself, this is quite an enterprise. The work walks in, the work walks out. No inventory, no warehouse, no health inspectors, no stock price.
And you would trade it all in for your own shoe shine stand.
Fewer headaches that way.
So you're in one of those moves again. What is it this time? Can't be the market, it just went up.
Now you're reading the financial pages.
I have to entertain myself somehow. But what happened today? You're acting very strange.
Am I? I'm sorry.
You can tell me, you know.
Nothing to tell, really. This is going to be our best year ever.
So it's a prospect of success you find so disheartening.
All right. I'll get my checkbook.
What for?
The bricklayer.
Arthur, he needs a job, not charity. What is it father always says? Working man needs to work.
It wears on his soul not to work. Well, it's a matter of his soul. That's different. All right. I'll have him talk to Dan.
Marty.
But I make no promises, Diane.
No promises.
To your health.
So, how long you had this drainage?
About a week or two. Heard something awful, Dr. Neff.
Anything else bothering you?
My back hurts some too.
You're back now. Have you seen your regular doctor lately?
He says it's nerves.
Nerves?
About my wedding and all.
If this ain't no case of nerves, nobody told me that.
What do you think?
I think you better schedule that surgery.
Couldn't we put it off a little? Till after my wedding?
If you don't have that surgery, you won't have no wedding.
Huh?
Miss Fryman, I want you to listen to me. Your jawbone is decaying. It's the black pus oozing out of your gums. It's the bone itself.
That's impossible.
To Mr. Arthur Reeder, U.S. Radium Corporation. From Cecil Drinker, Harvard University. Enclosed is our report.
Finally.
We believe the trouble in your plant is due to the radium.
It can't be as bad as that.
This can't be.
Put off the surgery, and you'll develop a septic condition. It could be fatal. The blood changes in your employees can be explained on no other grounds.
Everything I've got, I've saved for my wedding.
Photographic films carried by employees show heavy fogging. Well, I got a suggestion for you. And we suspect high levels of gamma radiation throughout the plants. Go to the radium plant and explain your situation.
Go to the company?
We realize no proof can be offered at present. Once they see what kind of shape you're in,
This is impossible.
they gotta feel obligated to help you out. But in view of the material of the literature,
It's a mistake.
and the facts disclosed by our investigation, I don't see how they can refuse. We recommend immediate and drastic remedial action. Look, if you want, I'll write to them for you. They can work through me, just pay my bills directly.
You think they'd do that?
Charlie!
They got a moral obligation, don't you think?
I guess so.
We'll do it now. Piece of paper.
He has to be wrong, that's all. He's wrong. Charlie. He has to be wrong.
He must have overlooked something.
If we are suffering from a new ailment caused by the radium, then it should occur generally throughout the plant.
One would expect.
Several hundred milligrams are in solution at all times in the big vats. Several hundred milligrams are in the ore. Several hundred in crystallizing.
The entire backyard is filled with tailings.
Radium is present in good amounts all over the property.
If it's the radium, then the incidence of illness should be the highest in the laboratory.
No one there is sick.
Then perhaps it's some combination of radium and zinc.
Or something peculiar to our plants alone.
Some kind of bacteria, perhaps? In the brushes?
It can't be the radium. There are dozens of application plants across the country, and none have ever reported anything like this.
The Department of Labor wants to see this report.
Yes. Where?
Well, what do we do? This tears us to pieces. How are we going to answer them?
They want to see the report. We'll send them this.
One page.
The most important page.
Drinker will never stand for this.
Drinker works for us. This is a proprietary report. What we do with it is our business.
But the Department of Labor, Arthur.
We just need time, Charlie.
They could
Just
shut
a little
us
time.
down for this.
Scientists! Government men! They have no idea what it takes to run a business. Von Sasaki thought advertising was a dirty word. He laughed at the very idea of promotion. I can't tell you how many times I walked into that man's office and he turned a deaf ear to everything I told him. But Charlie, we showed him. We showed him. Look at us. We are the world's largest single supplier of radium. The largest in the world. Do you think I am going to stand idly by and let our good name be dragged through the mud? Trust me, Charlie.
Dr. Flynn, it's awful nice of you to come all this way.
Not at all, my dear. Not at all.
I told the surgeon you were coming over here, so he gave me the results of my blood work.
Ah, excellent.
And so?
I must say, Miss Fryer, your blood is looking better than mine.
It does?
That's what happens to an old man who smokes. Now tell me, what else is troubling you?
My feet and my back mostly. I've had to wear a brace for a while.
So I see. You started before you left the company or after?
After I left, Dr. Neff said this all has to do with the radium plant. I know another girlfriend who died. Irene Rudolph.
Ah, yes, terrible thing. Vincent's angina.
What's that?
That's an ulcerating condition of the mouth, my dear.
From the radium.
Oh, no. An unfortunate and rare result of poor dental care. So let this be a lesson to you. Always brush your teeth.
There was something else in the papers about this. About other girls who got sick. One girl I worked with for a while, she's up in the hospitals in New York and doctors don't know what to do. They've never seen anything like it.
Miss Fryer, don't tell me you pay any attention to those papers. Those stories are not scientific.
But
reporters are not scientific. They do not follow scientific methods. They write to sell, not to educate. The scientist isn't concerned with what sells. He is concerned with the truth. He undertakes years of painstaking study to arrive at an understanding of intricate natural processes that most people would never presume to comprehend. You would do well to listen to science and ignore whatever nonsense that is in the papers. Because I can tell you right now, Miss Fryer, radium has nothing to do with what's ailing you.
does it?
Not in the least.
Then what is ailing me?
Poor diet, Miss Fryer, poor diet.
But Dr. Neff said that.
Dr. Neff is a dentist, not a physician. What you have is a vitamin deficiency. You must eat more fresh fruit.
Hard to do in the winter.
And raw meat as well. That will help with the anemia. Raw calves, liver particularly. Cook it if you must, but eat it twice a week, at a minimum. No, Miss Fryer. I'm a scientist, and I take a purely scientific interest in this study. By allowing me to examine you, you are helping me to further my own study. And for that, I thank you. Call me anytime, day or night.
Thanks, Dr. Flynn.
Happy to be of service.
Dr. Frederick Flynn, PhD, Physiology, Columbia University. PhD? Like, that's not even a real doctor.
My findings, Mr. Reader.
He's seen half a dozen girls used to work at the plant. Word I hear, he's working for the company.
An objective evaluation, I trust?
The source of my funding has no bearing on my research.
And I let that fella examine me.
I didn't examine her per se. It was not a medical examination per se.
Nevertheless, you were able to offer her some useful advice.
I did my best for her.
Every girl he sees, it's the same thing. Nothing wrong with you. Your blood is better than mine, he says.
And how are you doing in the rest of your report?
The animal studies I conducted revealed no adverse effects of radium. The problem, as you suspected, is one of personal hygiene only.
I can't believe someone would do that to you, Catherine. Straight out lie to you like that. Nothing surprises me. Just like you said, Catherine, these folks, they'll say anything. They'll do anything except the right thing. But we're gonna make them. We're gonna make sure someone hears about this.
I am most grateful, Dr. Flynn, but I am particularly grateful to hear that the young lady you examined is doing so much better.
Didn't examine her. No. I merely consulted with her.
All the same, she's doing much better, isn't she?
From what I could see, Mr. Reader, she appears to be on the road to recovery.
Excellent.
Here is my statement of fees and expenses.
Mr. Lee will draw you a check.
And so, I leave you now with this one thought. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not have to accept injustice. We can use our powers as consumers to influence the practices of those who wish to profit from our patronage. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Wiley. And thanks to the New Jersey Consumers League for another job well done. This concludes our program for this evening. I don't think we have time for questions, but we hope that you will join us next door for light refreshments.
Okay, you want anything?
Can I help you, miss? I'm here to see Miss Wiley. You're not a member of the Women's Club?
No, ma'am.
Are you a guest of a member?
No, ma'am. But Miss Wiley...
Then I'm sure Miss Wiley would be happy to see you during her regular business hours. I'm not leaving until I see Miss Wiley.
It's all right, Mrs. Milton. It's fine. You must be inspired.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Young at the health department said I should see you. I know I should have stopped by your office, but I've missed an awful lot of work lately. I didn't want to miss no more.
No need to apologize. I had need to call him myself. Please, sit down.
Me and Catherine, we wrote to the company about our troubles, but we never heard nothing. So then we went to see a couple lawyers, but they all said they can't do nothing since it's been so long since we left the company. Something about the law won't allow it.
The statute of limitations.
Right. And one lawyer said he wants to sue anyhow. Only he wants $1,000 up front. I already spent everything I saved on my wedding, on doctors and dentists and hospitals, and I still don't know what's wrong exactly. And Tom, that's my fella. He said he don't care. He wants to get married anyhow, but I just wonder, what good would I do him like this? Miss Wiley, if I could just get some compensation, I could settle my debts, and maybe I wouldn't feel as if I was settling Tom on such a burden. I'm so sorry to rattle on at you about these things. I'm just so tired of being pushed around.
I don't blame you.
Miss Young said the Consumers League has, what did she say, clout?
I'd like to think so. We've certainly had our share of successes.
So can you help us then?
Tell me, Miss Riley, just how far are you willing to go with this?
Ma'am?
Suppose I do find a lawyer to take your case. Someone willing to take it on a contingency. You wouldn't have to pay him unless you won. Would you be willing to sue?
I want my compensation.
Of course you do. Now, suppose the company says, here's some money for you, Miss Fryer. Only, you're to tell no one what we've agreed to. You're to say nothing about how you got sick.
Keep it quiet, you mean?
Yes.
That don't seem right.
It isn't right, but that's what they will do. They will try to buy your silence. Is it for sale, Miss Fryer?
No. No, ma'am, it isn't.
Good.
So, will you help us?
I think I can help you, if you're willing to take some chances.
Chances?
Miss Fryer, if you would be willing to set aside your own need, just for the moment, we can put a stop to that company. We can stop them dead in their tracks.
What do I have to do?
We start by putting you on page 1.
Page 1? You want her to talk to the newspaper?
Not just one newspaper. Many, many newspapers.
Is that really necessary?
All we want is for Grace to have her compensation.
Tommy, let her finish.
I understand your concerns, but this company has already shown it's willing to go to extremes to protect itself. No, I'm afraid the only way we will get to them is to hit them where it matters most. Their public image. When every newspaper in America tells your story, how you were sorely treated, how you suffered, how the company denied all responsibility. Believe me, Miss Fryer, when that happens, Arthur Reeder will come to the table with his hat in his hands.
All right, Miss Riley.
I know it's a little frightening.
That's all right. Right now, I'm more angry than I am scared.
Good. You hang on to that anger, Miss Fryer. You're going to need it. Only, be sure no one else sees it.
That?
Public sympathy, Miss Fryer. That's our strongest weapon. And the public doesn't have much sympathy for an angry woman.